All right, let's talk about Norfolk Southern, which has, yesterday it was announced that Norfolk Southern reached what could be the largest settlement in the history of railroads in the United States over the train derailment in East Palestine. We can go put the first element up on the screen here. $600 million to residents and businesses in East Palestine, Ohio, and I think it's like within a 10-mile radius, something to that extent. So on Tuesday, the lead attorneys representing the victims of Norfolk Southern announced the Atlanta-based company had agreed in principle to a $600 million class action lawsuit settlement. It does, though, still need to be approved by a U.S. District Court judge in Youngstown. I'm reading now from the Canton Repository. Now, based on our research, and settlements are often confidential, but this looks significantly larger than any other derailment settlement that we're aware of in the United States, said Jane Conroy of Simmons Hanley Conroy, one of the lead attorneys, in a Zoom interview with the Canton Repository yesterday. Although, Ryan, I want to put this next element up on the screen as well. This is actually a tweet reacting to the settlement by Erin Brockovich, who is quoting one of Julia Roberts' big lines, obviously based on her own life, in the movie Erin Brockovich. Quote, "Before you come back here with another lame-ass offer, I want you to think real hard about what your spine is worth, Mr. Walker, or what you might expect someone to pay you for your uterus, Miss Sanchez." And then Erin Brockovich added, "The money never makes them whole." That's, I think, a really apt way to put it, looking at the $600 million settlement class action lawsuit that is going to be spread across many, many people in East Palestine, many, many businesses in East Palestine. And the money never could make you whole.
Yeah, and there's still open questions about criminal guilt here. Mm-hmm. Like there have not been prosecutions yet. There are important questions that investigators need to be asking about. In particular, what did the company know when they did the controlled demolition?
Yeah.
Was that actually necessary? What information did they have? Did they willingly, create an environmental catastrophe in order to just get the trains moving a little bit quicker? They have claimed that they really had no choice, but the evidence does not seem to be lining up in that direction, and this does not admit any guilt. So, hopefully, prosecutors are still looking at this. If history is any guide, they're not. But you've got J.D. Vance, you've got Sherrod Brown, you've got politicians from both parties who continue to put pressure on Norfolk Southern. Yet, the J.D. Vance and Sherrod Brown's rail safety reform, we haven't seen that. We've seen that get bottled up. So, it's good that people are going to get some compensation, but systemically, it looks like so far the culprits are getting away with it.
Yeah, that's a really important point. That bill, the J.D. Vance bill, has gone basically nowhere in Congress because of opposition to people who take money from the industry or close with the industry. It's a real uphill battle. Now, the attorney said Norfolk Southern actually settled quicker than what was expected. And Ryan, you made
this is quick, yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like victims could potentially get money by the end of the year, which is, that is fast as these things go. But the other important point that you made, Ryan, is that they're not admitting any guilt. So no liability, no fault admitted in this settlement. But they're also still facing a lawsuit that was filed by the Ohio Attorney General for environmental damages that resulted after the derailment. And Yost has said, Dave Yost, the AG, has said he wouldn't settle the suit, quote, without a detailed understanding of what happened, who is responsible, and how we avoid other communities like East Palestine from being victims to this type of incident. Also worth noting, as the New York Times does, that the National Transportation Safety Board is continuing to investigate the incident, hasn't released its own report into what happened. So there's plenty more in all of this to come for getting to the bottom of actually what happened. Now, a little bit more on the details of the settlement. The lawyer said that it would provide payment to residents and businesses in East Palestine and also the affected surrounding communities within a 20-mile radius, pending the court approval that we mentioned earlier. Now, East Palestine alone is almost 5,000 people, and they would all be eligible for payment from this settlement. Then it also has a voluntary program that would compensate individuals within a 10-mile radius for past, present, and future personal injuries that result from chemical exposure. Norfolk Southern highlighted their contributions to the community, which, again, like they've already poured more than $100 million into different infrastructure. They've done they say they've done $2 million for community-directed projects, $4.3 million to upgrades, drinking water infrastructure, $500,000 for an economic development grant, and that huge $104 million for community assistance to communities around East Palestine, including Ohio and Pennsylvania. $25 million included in that for regional safety training. Improvements to their city park, direct payments to residents, $21 million for that, and then $9 million to local first responders. So just the cost of doing business, I guess, for Norfolk Southern until Congress acts and steps in here.
Right. It's the right.
It's a $700 million.
They're using the money that they're saving by reducing the number of workers that they pay and keeping their pay low.
Yeah, $700 million accident so far. You can put a price tag on it.
Yeah,
so,
yes, indeed.
Until Congress does anything, this is basically what you're stuck with.
Yeah.
But I thought the Erin Brockovich quote was poignant. The money never makes anyone whole. These are people's homes. It's their community. It's just unbelievable, but believable that Norfolk Southern settled so quickly, given, I think, what we will continue to find out about their liability.
Hey, if you liked that video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Breaking Points.
If you want to see the rest of Counterpoints, go to breakingpoints.com to become a premium member and get the full uncut show every morning in your inbox and on Spotify.
Help us build independent news and get the full show every morning at breakingpoints.com.